Welcome, everyone. Today, you're not just watching another motivational video. You're standing in front of a mirror, not to see your face, but to see your enemy. Because the truth is, your greatest enemy is not your parents, not your boss, not society, not your past, and not even your situation. It's you, the version of you that scrolls instead of studies, that talks about goals instead of chasing them, that keeps waiting instead of building, the one that looks motivated but never moves. And that version of you, it's been winning for years. Today, that ends. This video is not about becoming rich in 10 steps. It's not about motivation that fades after 5 minutes. It's about war. A silent war happening inside you. Every single day. And there are only 2 outcomes. You kill the old you, or the old you kills everything you could have become. This video is called You versus You, and inside it are 10 brutal battles you must win. These are not tips, they are battles. Every part will expose a different version of you. The lazy you, the insecure you, the scared you, the you who keeps waiting for permission to live. And we're not going to fight these battles with hope. We will fight them with truth, the kind of truth that hurts. Because that's the kind that sets you free. So if you feel lost, if you've failed too many times, if you've been stuck in the same place for months, maybe years, then this video is for you, not to inspire you, but to wake you up. Because if you keep living like this, you won't just lose time, you'll lose your future. Today is not about feeling better. It's about becoming someone better. The war is not outside. The war is you versus you. And if you're learning English, this video will help you more than you realize. Because you're not just hearing words. You're hearing real emotion, real storytelling, and real vocabulary that actually matters in life. So, as you grow stronger inside, your English will grow with you. This is how you learn. Through feeling, not just grammar. Let's begin. Battle 1. The you who rises versus the you who dies. Average. There's a version of you that wants more. He wakes up with fire in his chest. He knows life is short. He knows he was made for more than just surviving. He wants to grow, to learn, to earn, to lead. He doesn't care what people say. He doesn't need permission. That version of you, he's dangerous. He doesn't scroll for hours. He studies, he trains, he builds in silence. Every day, even when he's tired. Especially when he's tired. But there's another version of you. The average you. He hits snooze. He wakes up tired, not from work, but from escaping. He scrolls. He complains. He says, I'll start tomorrow. Maybe next month. One day. But that day never comes. That version of you is not lazy. He is comfortable. And comfort is the biggest trap ever created. Because it makes you feel safe, while it slowly kills your potential. Let's make this real. You wake up at 7:30. You had planned to study English, apply for a better job, or start your fitness plan. But instead, you grab your phone. You check notifications. You watch a YouTube short. Then another, then TikTok, then Instagram. Then you check WhatsApp. Now it's 9:15, almost 2 hours. Gone. No English, no goal progress, no dream touched. And you didn't even enjoy the scrolling. You just escaped. That's average you. Stealing your future one lazy morning at a time. Now let's flip it. You wake up. You don't feel like moving. But you sit up anyway. You drink a glass of water. You stretch. You open your notebook and write, I don't want to die average. You put your phone away. You study English for 30 minutes. You apply to that job you were avoiding. You write 1 page of your book. You take one hard step, not because it's fun, but because you want freedom. That's the real you. The one fighting to live a life that means something. Most people are not average because they lack talent. They're average because they refuse to fight the average version of themselves. The one who wants to be liked. The one who hides behind excuses. The one who says, "I'm doing okay." But okay is not why you were born. You were not made to be average. You were trained to be average by school, society, family, social media. But you can unlearn that. You can rise. You can change. But not by motivation. Only by battle. And today, right now, the fight has already started. So ask yourself, who's winning today? The version of me that scrolls? Or the version that builds? The one who snoozes? Or the one who moves? The one who talks about his dreams? Or the one who is building them in silence? The average you wants you to delay. He wants you to play safe, to be liked, to fit in, to be quiet. But there is a version of you that was born to stand out. Not for fame, not for likes, but because you refuse to waste your life. Don't die average. Don't leave this world untouched. Don't take your dreams to the grave. Kill the average you, or be buried beside him. You choose. Battle 2. The you who lives with purpose versus the you who just survives. There are two types of people in this world. Those who wake up with purpose, and those who wake up just to pass the time. You already know both versions, because both exist inside you. The purpose-driven you. He knows why he wakes up. He knows what he wants. He doesn't need motivation, because purpose is louder than excuses. He still feels tired. He still feels scared. But he moves anyway, because something inside him whispers, "There's more waiting for you." He doesn't live for Friday. He doesn't dread Monday. Every day is a step forward, not something to escape from. He doesn't chase success for validation. He chases it for meaning, because he knows if he doesn't build a life of purpose, he'll be trapped in a life of regret. The survival mode you. This version of you has no purpose. He doesn't know what he wants, so he takes whatever life gives him. He drags himself out of bed. He works a job he hates. He lives for the weekend. He drowns in noise, Netflix, Instagram, random scrolling. He numbs himself because he doesn't want to face the truth. He's not living, he's just existing. His life is not moving forward, it's just repeating. Wake up, eat, scroll, work, eat, sleep, repeat. No joy, no growth, no direction. And you know what's dangerous? You can do this for years and never notice. Because survival mode is quiet. It doesn't hurt at first, but it kills slowly. Let's say you're 23. You don't know what you want yet. You get a job you don't care about. You tell yourself, it's just for now. But months pass, then years. Your dreams fade. Your mind becomes tired. Your confidence dies quietly. You go out with friends. You laugh. But deep inside, you feel empty. Because you stopped building the life you wanted and started tolerating the life you were given. That's survival mode. And millions of people die inside while living this way. The brutal truth. Purpose is not a luxury. It's not something you maybe find. It's your weapon. It gives you direction, energy, vision, clarity. It makes pain meaningful. It makes hard days manageable. It gives you a reason to keep going, even when life throws hell at you. The you who lives with purpose doesn't waste time. He doesn't waste years. He doesn't waste his voice. Because he knows, I wasn't born to just pay bills and die. I was born to create something real. You either live with intention or you live in confusion. You either build your future or someone else will hire you to build theirs. You either create your purpose or you escape from your pain. The version of you that lives with purpose, he's inside you. But he's buried under excuses, distractions, and delay. Dig him out. Let him rise. Or you'll die with nothing but regret. The war is real, and it's happening right now. Battle 3. The you who believes in possibility versus the you who fears failure. This battle is the reason why most people never even try. Not because they're lazy, not because they don't have time, but because they already think they'll lose before they begin. The believer inside you, he doesn't know how, but he still says, "What if I can?" He doesn't have perfect answers, but he still takes the first step. He sees his broken English and says, "I'll improve it." He sees his lack of money and says, "I'll figure it out." He sees rejection, fear, embarrassment, and still walks forward. Because this version of you doesn't need perfect conditions. He just needs one small reason to believe. And when he believes, he starts. And when he starts, he becomes dangerous. Because belief is like fuel. Once it's lit, it spreads. The doubter inside you. This is the version of you that kills dreams before they breathe. He says, "What if I fail? What if I sound stupid? What if they laugh at me? What if I'm not good enough?" And every time he asks that, you stop. You delay. You watch others move ahead while you hide. You tell yourself, "I'm not ready. Maybe next month. I need more time." But what you really need is courage. Because doubt will always speak first, but it doesn't have to speak last. You want to start a YouTube channel. You have ideas. You feel excited. But the moment you open the camera, your hands shake. Your brain says, "Your accent isn't perfect. Your voice is weak. No one will watch this." So you shut the laptop. You tell yourself, "I'll plan more." But it's a lie. You didn't plan. You doubted. And the dream died again. That's what the doubting version of you does. He doesn't destroy you with action. He destroys you with hesitation. The honest truth. You don't need to be fearless. You just need to act while you're still scared. The version of you that believes, he's not unrealistic. He just knows that nothing happens without risk. Nothing grows without discomfort. Nothing changes without belief. And the longer you stay in doubt, the harder it becomes to break free. Because doubt becomes a habit, and belief becomes a choice. Choose wisely. The world doesn't need more perfect people. It needs more brave beginners. And that's what you need to become. The battle is not between success and failure. It's between what if I fail versus what if I can. The one you choose to listen to will decide your entire future. Kill the doubt. Let the believer rise. Even if your hands shake, start. Even if your voice trembles, speak. Because your dream is not dying from lack of time. It's dying from lack of belief. Battle 4. The you who acts versus the you who overthinks. This is one of the deadliest battles in your life. Because you'll lose years. Not to failure, but to thinking about failure. The you who acts. This version of you doesn't have all the answers. He's not fearless. He's not even always confident. But he takes action. He feels the fear and still moves forward. He's scared of being judged, but still speaks. He doesn't wait to feel ready. He builds while still learning. He knows that success doesn't go to the smartest or the strongest. It goes to the one who shows up again and again, while others stay stuck thinking. He believes in one rule. You learn faster by doing than by waiting. This version of you builds momentum. He starts messy, he falls, he learns, and slowly, quietly, he becomes unstoppable. The you who overthinks. This version of you is a genius. He plans, he imagines, he sees every possible outcome in his mind, but he never moves. He waits for the perfect time. He says, "Let me just think about it a bit more. Maybe I should study it a little longer. I'll start once I'm more confident." But the truth is, he's not thinking. He's hiding, because overthinking feels productive. But it's really procrastination in disguise. And while he's thinking, life is moving on. Others are building. Opportunities are disappearing. Confidence is dying. You want to start speaking English. You think, what if I say something wrong? What if people laugh at me? What if I freeze in front of everyone? So you spend 3 weeks watching grammar videos. You write in your notebook. You highlight everything, but you never speak, not once. Now imagine this. Another person starts on the same day. She knows only 30% of what you know. But she speaks, badly, with mistakes, with hesitation. She keeps speaking. And by week 3, she's 10 times better than you. Why? Because she acted. You overthought. The brutal truth. Overthinking gives you control, but it steals your courage. It makes you feel smart, while slowly killing your growth. The you who acts may fail 10 times, but by the 11th time, he learns how to win. The you who overthinks may never fail, because he never even starts, but he also never becomes anything. And that's the real failure. Your dream doesn't need more thinking. It needs more doing. You don't need a perfect plan. You need a messy start. You don't need confidence. You need courage while scared. So if you're stuck thinking, stop, open your mouth, open your laptop, open your notebook, take the first step today. Because this battle will never end. And if you don't act now, the version of you that overthinks, he will bury your entire future under what if. Battle 5. The you who builds in silence versus the you who seeks approval. This battle isn't about skill. It's about ego versus self-respect. One version of you wants to grow quietly. The other wants to be seen loudly. The silent builder you. This version of you is dangerous. He doesn't care about being liked. He doesn't chase claps or followers. He wakes up early. He studies without posting it. He works out without showing it. He learns English without telling anyone. He builds in private. He improves in the dark. And then, one day, he shows up and the world is shocked. They say, "Where have you been?" And he says, "Working." This version of you respects the process. He doesn't show off. He shows results. The validation-seeking you. This version of you looks confident, but inside, he's fragile. He can't grow without likes. He can't move without applause. He's addicted to approval. He posts fake progress. He needs attention to feel worthy. And if no one claps, he quits. He starts something, shares it online. And if the views are low, he gives up, because he was never building for himself. He was building for validation. You start going to the gym. The silent builder version of you wakes up at 6 a.m., trains quietly, goes home, eats well, sleeps early. No photos, no stories, no flexing. The validation-seeking version of you takes mirror selfies, posts quotes, checks likes all day, misses meals, skips workouts, and by month 3, he's still the same. Because he was busy performing, not transforming. This same pattern repeats with English learning, reading books, building a business, starting YouTube. If you need people watching to stay consistent, you'll never become anything without an audience. The brutal truth. The people who make the most noise in the beginning are usually the first to disappear because validation fades, likes stop, but pain continues. And only the silent version of you can handle it because he's not chasing fame. He's chasing freedom. He doesn't need to prove he's improving. He's too busy actually improving. Work so hard in silence that your results make all the noise. Forget who's watching. Forget who's not clapping. Forget who's ahead of you. Because your future isn't built in the spotlight. It's built in the dark. When no one's watching. When no one's cheering. When it's just you. Against every excuse trying to break you. So choose. Perform for approval, or build in silence and become untouchable. Kill the performer. Raise the builder. The world doesn't need another poser. It needs someone real. Battle 6. The you who chooses discipline versus the you who chooses excuses. This is the battle that separates winners from watchers, creators from complainers, the focused from the forgettable. And it starts every morning, before you even open your eyes. This version of you doesn't need to be motivated. He doesn't chase moods. He moves because it's time, not because he feels like it. He doesn't wait for January. He doesn't care if it's Monday or Friday. Because to him, every day is a chance to get closer to his future. He keeps promises to himself, even when no one's watching, even when no one claps, even when it's raining, when it hurts, when it's boring. This version of you is rare, because he shows up, especially when it's hard. And that's where he becomes unbreakable. The excuse maker you. This version of you is brilliant at explaining why you're stuck. He always has a reason. Too tired, too late, too early, too much going on, too little time, no energy, no support, too busy, too overwhelmed. And the scary part? He sounds logical, he sounds right, but every time you listen to him, you move further from the person you want to be. Excuses are not just delays. They are weapons your weaker self uses to protect your comfort and kill your progress. For example, you want to improve your English. Disciplined you says, I'll study 30 minutes every day, i.e. no matter what. He sets an alarm. He studies after work. He makes flashcards. He practices with a mirror, even when tired, even when it's boring, even when no one else is doing it. Now here's the other version. Excuse maker you says, I had a long day. I'll study more tomorrow. I'm not in the mood. Let me relax first. It's just one day. One day becomes 2. 2 becomes 7. Soon 2 months pass. You've done nothing. But deep inside you still say, I'm serious about learning. That's the trap. You think you're committed. But discipline proves if that's true. Excuses prove that it's not. The brutal truth. Discipline is hard for a few minutes. Excuses are easy for a few minutes. But after that, discipline gives you freedom. Excuses give you guilt. You can either suffer for 30 minutes daily in discipline, or suffer for decades in regret. You'll either feel the pain of growth now, or the pain of what could have been forever. The disciplined you builds a future. The excuse-making you destroys it, one lazy hour at a time. There will always be reasons not to show up. But the only reason that matters is this. I promised myself something, and I refuse to break that promise. Don't wait for motivation. Don't wait for energy. Don't wait for the perfect mood. Show up broken, show up afraid, show up exhausted, but show up anyway. Because every time you choose discipline, you make the weaker version of you disappear. Battle 7. The you who takes responsibility versus the you who blames everything else. This is one of the most dangerous battles, because this one decides if your life will ever truly change. The you who owns his life. This version of you doesn't blame. He doesn't point fingers. He doesn't say, "It's their fault. They hurt me. Life is unfair. I wasn't born lucky. No one supports me. I didn't get the chance." He says, "This is my life, and I'm responsible for how it goes." Even if others made mistakes, even if life was unfair, he doesn't give them the power anymore, because he knows. Blaming others might feel good, but it keeps me powerless. So he takes control, not because everything is his fault, but because nothing will change until he does. The you who blames. This version of you is angry. He complains. He talks about the system, the government, the economy, his past, his parents, his school, his boss, his city. He spends hours explaining why life is hard, but never spends 10 minutes changing it. He says things like, "If they helped me, I'd be successful. If I had money, I'd be confident. If I wasn't born here, I'd have more chances." But he never asks, "What can I do, even with what I have?" Because that question requires courage. And the blaming version of you isn't brave. He's stuck in the past because he's afraid of building a future. For example, you see someone fluent in English. You feel jealous. You tell yourself, "Of course they speak well. They went to a good school. They had money for coaching. Their parents supported them." And because of that thought, you don't even try. Now imagine this instead. You see the same person, but you say, "If they can do it, so can I. Maybe I didn't get the same start, but I can still change my finish. I can study 30 minutes a day. I can find free videos. I can practice in the mirror." That shift in mindset, that's the version of you who takes responsibility. And that version is unstoppable. The brutal truth: blame gives you an excuse to stay broken. Responsibility gives you the power to heal. No one is coming to save you. Not your parents, not your friends, not your country, not your past. Only you can save you. And the longer you blame others, the longer you stay a victim of life instead of the creator of your life. You have two choices: keep blaming and stay stuck, or take ownership and change everything. Responsibility is not pressure, it's freedom. Because once you stop blaming others, you finally take back the power to change yourself. So ask yourself, am I explaining my life, or am I rewriting it? Because the version of you that blames will spend his life waiting. But the version of you that owns everything will rise and win and become something no one thought you could. Battle 8. The you who focuses versus the you who gets distracted. This battle is not about laziness. It's about energy. Where your energy goes, your future goes. And every day you're either focusing it or leaking it. The focused you. This version of you is a warrior. He's not perfect. He's not fearless. But when it's time to work, he shows up like his life depends on it. He has a goal, and every choice he makes either serves that goal or gets cut. He blocks noise. He says no. He shuts the door. He puts the phone down. He locks into his target like a sniper. And while others scroll, gossip, waste time, he builds, quietly, consistently, day after day. He knows that focus is a superpower. Because most people can't do anything without checking their phone 17 times in 5 minutes. This version of you is dangerous. Because he doesn't just work. He finishes. The distracted. You, this version of you, he's everywhere and nowhere. He opens a book, reads 3 pages, checks notifications, sees a reel, ends up watching dance videos for 40 minutes. He starts a new course, gets excited, then forgets about it 2 days later. He says, I just can't focus. But the truth is, he's addicted to escape. He's chasing dopamine, not results. And every time life gets a little uncomfortable, he runs to his favorite distractions. Scrolling, overthinking, overeating, daydreaming, doing busy things that feel like progress but lead nowhere. And by the end of the week, he's tired, but hasn't built anything real. 2 students, same exam, same deadline, same dream. Student A wakes up, makes a simple plan, turns off notifications, and opens the book. No scrolling, no checking messages, no just 5 minutes on YouTube. He studies for 3 hours with deep focus, then takes a short break, goes for a walk, comes back, studies again. Every day, same system, same focus. Student B also wants to succeed, but he opens the book and then, ping, one message, then another. He watches one video, then another, then shorts, then reels. He tells himself, I'll start in 10 minutes. But 10 minutes becomes 3 hours. He keeps jumping between books, notifications, snacks, games, and regrets. Fast forward 1 month. The exam day comes. Student A walks in prepared, confident, and ready. Student B walks in tired, panicked, and hoping for luck. The difference? Not intelligence, not talent, not even time. It was focus. In a distracted world, focus is a superpower, and the one who masters it wins. Success is not about doing everything. It's about doing the right thing, without getting pulled away every 5 minutes. Choose the you who stays focused or the you who keeps clicking next while life passes you by. The internet is not your enemy. Your lack of control over it is. Distraction is not just wasting your time. It's reprogramming your brain to expect entertainment instead of effort. And once your brain gets used to 8-second videos, it can't survive 30 minutes of real study. The you who gets distracted will always feel busy, but never feel fulfilled, because he's everywhere, but going nowhere. Your focus is your power. Protect it like your life depends on it. Because it does. 1 focused hour beats 5 distracted days. 1 deep session builds more than 10 shallow efforts. 1 serious decision to lock in can change your future. So ask yourself, what am I allowing to steal my life? Because every distraction is a thief, and it's stealing the only thing you can never get back. Time. Kill the distractions. Rebuild your focus. The version of you who finishes things? He's waiting. But you have to silence the noise to find him. Battle 9. The you who evolves versus the you who escapes. This battle is not just about effort. It's about growth versus hiding, healing versus running, facing life versus escaping from it. And this may be the deepest battle of all, the you who evolves. This version of you is not afraid of change. He's afraid of staying the same. He looks at his life honestly. He sees the habits that are ruining him, the people who drain him, the fears that limit him, and instead of escaping, he faces it. He starts journaling. He reflects. He asks hard questions. Why do I keep quitting? Why do I feel so angry? What am I scared of? He goes into the pain. He studies it. And he slowly, powerfully, painfully grows. Not because life gets easier, but because he becomes stronger. He evolves through discomfort, through silence, through self-awareness. And every version of him dies, so a new one can be born, the you who escapes. This version of you avoids everything. He feels anxious, so he scrolls. He feels sad, so he eats. He feels lonely, so he distracts himself. He doesn't want to face the truth, so he numbs it. He avoids the mirror. He avoids growth. He avoids healing. He looks fine on the outside, but inside, he's stuck, drowning in his own mind, repeating the same year, again and again. And every time life offers a chance to change, he runs away from it. You know you have a dream, but it scares you, because what if you fail? So, instead of chasing it, you watch 20 motivational videos, you scroll quotes, you plan, you research, but you never move. Why? Because movement would force you to face your fear, and you've trained yourself to escape, not evolve. You look at English speakers and say, I want to speak like that. But you never start. You're scared of sounding wrong. So instead of practicing, you hide behind grammar videos. For months. That's escape, not evolution. The brutal truth. Most people don't need more knowledge. They need more courage. The you who escapes wants to feel better. The you who evolves wants to become better. The escape feels good now, but it keeps you broken. The evolution feels painful now, but it makes you powerful. Stop running. Your fears? They're not meant to be avoided. They're meant to be confronted. Your pain? It's not your enemy. It's your signal to grow. Your discomfort? It's your invitation to evolve. So choose, keep escaping, and stay stuck in the same cycle. Or face yourself and rise into someone new. Because the version of you who evolves, he's already inside you. He just needs you to stop running and start becoming. Battle 10. The you who thinks big versus the you who settles small. This is the most silent, most dangerous battle of all. Because the version of you who settles doesn't look like a villain. He looks normal. He smiles. He's polite. He gets a job. He pays bills. He fits in. He survives. But deep down, he is burying your destiny. The you who thinks big. This version of you is rare. He doesn't ask, what if I fail? He asks, what if I fly higher than I ever imagined? He doesn't just want comfort. He wants impact. He doesn't ask for permission to dream. He builds dreams so big. They scare him. He looks at the world and says, why not me? Why not now? Why not here? Why not from this small town, this small room, this broken start? He believes that success is not reserved for the lucky. It's reserved for the relentless. He has fire in his chest, but more importantly, he has clarity in his vision. He wants more, not to impress the world, but to become the version of himself that refused to live small. The you who settles small. This version of you doesn't look broken, but he is. He's the voice that says, this is enough. Why work so hard? Be realistic. That dream is too big for someone like you. He tells you to play safe, to stay in your lane, to lower your voice, to shrink your vision so no one laughs. He trades growth for acceptance. He trades greatness for good enough. And the worst part, he never even tells you he's killing your future. Because he kills it slowly, quietly, with logic, with fear dressed up as maturity, with fake wisdom that says, be practical, settle down, stop dreaming like a child. But every time you listen to him, a piece of you dies. Let's say you've always wanted to build something, a YouTube channel, a business, a book, a life outside the system. You feel it every day. That itch, that idea, that desire. You see others doing it, and something inside says, you could too. But then, the small settling version of you shows up, and he says, you're not talented enough. You didn't go to the right school. People like you don't succeed. What if you waste your time? What will people say? Just be grateful for what you have. So you push the dream away. You go to work. You smile. You scroll. You survive. But deep inside, you're not at peace. Because your soul knows. You didn't come this far to be average. You didn't survive everything just to settle. You didn't get this vision by accident. You got it because it's your responsibility to bring it to life. The brutal truth. Most people don't fail because they aim too high and miss. They fail because they aim too low and hit. They live their entire lives inside a box of fear, silence, and limitation. Not because they couldn't have done more, but because they chose not to. They chose comfort over greatness, fitting in over standing out, fear over vision. And by the time they realize what they gave up, it's too late. A deeper layer. You might be watching this and thinking, but I don't know what my dream is. I'm just trying to survive. That's okay. You don't need a perfect dream right now. But you do need to stop settling. Because the moment you stop settling, your real vision starts to reveal itself. The more you say no to a small, ordinary life, the more doors open to the life you're meant to live. You don't have to know your final goal. You just need to stop accepting less than you're capable of. You just need to stop calling survival success and start asking yourself, what could I actually become if I stopped shrinking? You were not born to live someone else's idea of a small, quiet life. You were not born to dim your light just to make others comfortable. You were not born to repeat the same day for 40 years and call it a life. You were born to expand, to explore, to rise, to think so big that it scares you and excites you at the same time. The version of you who thinks big is not arrogant. He's aware of what you're capable of, aware that you only get one life, and aware that dreaming small is not noble. It's betrayal. Betrayal of your gifts, your voice, your calling. So this is it, the final battle. The you who thinks big versus the you who settles small. And only one gets to live. So choose wisely. Because the version of you who plays small, he'll keep you comfortable. But the version of you who thinks big, he will change your world. And maybe, just maybe, he'll change the world. If this video moved you, if even one of these battles felt like your life story, then don't just click away. Subscribe. Not because I asked you to, but because something in you is ready to grow. Because this channel isn't for entertainment. It's for transformation. We don't make noise here. We make warriors out of the silent ones. So if you're done living small, if you're ready to fight the battle called you versus you every single day, then hit that button and let's build something unstoppable. Together. This isn't the end. It's just the beginning. Subscribe now. And don't let the weaker version of you scroll past this moment.